and welcome to another episode of Gaming Geeks Live. And in this episode, we're going to talk about
the top 5 defensive players at each position in the NFL. Stay tuned.
And I don't know what happened. YouTube, I found out I had this scheduled on YouTube, and I don't know what happened, but YouTube was actually, I got this notification that they were down for a couple hours. It was the weirdest thing. This is while we were on the cruise. But anyway, I am your host, Matt.
And I'm Rick.
And that's what he said. We're going to go over our top 5 NFL defensive players at each position, and we'll try our best to keep it about 20 minutes, yeah?
Yeah.
But you want to start off with our defensive linemen, and our offensive one was pretty well received with views, I thought, so that was good.
Yeah.
So,
I guess there's a lot of geeks like us that like sports.
well, yeah, and you got to understand they probably play fantasy and all that too. So, I know a lot of nerds that like what we like in gaming and also play fantasy football. So,
Oh, yeah.
yeah, so obviously fantasy football does make you pay attention to individual players, and it pisses me off every time I played it. So, but yeah, again, thank you. Please feel free to subscribe to our channel, and please like this video. Help us in that algorithm. You'll see it down there. And do you want to start off with defensive linemen, and you can go first?
Well, I got a couple honorable mentions that could easily be in the top 5.
Okay, hit me.
Randy White, the Manson.
Oh, yep, the Dallas Cowboys, number 54.
Yeah, when I was growing up, I was a Cowboys fan, and they called him the Manster, and he was just dominant. The other one I think you might have is Deacon Jones.
Yes, almost definitely. If before they started keeping the stat of sack, he may have had more sacks than anybody, at least for a while.
And that's what I was looking at when I was doing my research, is a lot of the
Definitely.
sack stuff.
My 2 honorable mentions for the defensive line, my first one will obviously, we're going to have our top 5, and there's just no way around it. But I really liked, I lost it, just completely lost it. But the first one I will say is I'm more partial, but he's not one of my favorites. He's not one of the best. But you remember Joe Klecko. I love watching him. He was awesome. But, I think overall I liked Clyde Simmons. I thought he had a good honorable mention there. And then Keith Millard of the Vikings would be a good honorable mention. But, yeah, you want to start off with who you got at number 5?
My number 5, a Steeler, Joe Green.
And he's considered among Steelers the greatest Steeler player ever.
Very possible.
Mm-hmm.
And, throws a little towel at the kid in the Super Bowl or whatever.
Hey, kid, catch. Yeah, the famous commercial, man.
Was it Coke commercial?
Yeah, Coca-Cola. Because the song, that's the way it should be, and I like this. Yep, that's awesome. I'm going to go at my number 5 is going to be Deacon Jones.
Okay.
I still love watching some of the old film on some of those older players, and you watch them and you start to realize just how ahead of the time they really were. So, all right, man. Who's your number 4?
Reggie White.
Yeah.
He's pretty dominant, and you heard his name a lot. And, I can't believe the Eagles let him go.
No, didn't he? I think he went on to Green Bay for a while, didn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm gonna say that at number 2 for me.
4.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. I'm sorry. I'm going backwards. But yes, my number 5 was Deacon Jones, and my number 4 would be Aaron Donald.
Okay.
Again, in a league that is geared for the offense to flourish, when your defenders can still rise above and still play above and beyond in order to go against the rules that have the offenses so favored, I couldn't but help but add him. So
yeah, for an inside player, he was probably the closest thing to unblockable that there was.
Right.
He was dominant.
Way dominant. All right, at number 3 for you, brother.
Aaron Donald.
Nope, nice, man.
You set that up.
Big surprise, big surprise. I will go with Mean Joe Green at number 3 because in a lot of circles he's rated the top to some degree. I don't agree with that just because of my last 2. So at least that I've seen personally. So, another honorable mention would have been Vikings Chris Dolman. Forgot about him. And Neil Smith. I mean, there's a lot, bro. Anyway, who's your number?
Yeah, Neil Smith, great Bronco there.
Yeah, at the end, wasn't it?
Yeah.
All right, who's your number 2?
My number 2 is Minnesota Viking, Ellen Page. He's up. Again, if they kept stats for sacks, he'd been right up there.
Another honorable mention would have been Warren Sapp, too.
Yeah.
Okay, I like it. My number 2 is Reggie White.
Okay. Yeah.
I mean, I just thought that
Can't argue with that.
No, he revolutionized the position in ways that, even Leslie O'Neal, remember him? I mean, I know that we're doing our top 5, but all these players are starting to pop into my head, like Leslie O'Neal of the Chargers. He was good, but I think we both have the same number 1.
Bruce Smith.
Bruce Smith, yep.
Yes. I mean, how can you argue with that one?
Yeah, I think he's the greatest defensive lineman of all time.
Yeah, for sure.
Big surprise, brother. Big surprise.
We don't have to talk about him that much, but
No, go ahead.
it's too bad he didn't win Super Bowl. Huh?
Didn't he end his career with the Washington at that time, the Redskins? I thought that he did, didn't he?
I don't remember. Did he win He didn't win a Super Bowl.
No, I don't think he won a Super Bowl, but I know that the majority of the bulk of his career was with Buffalo, but then I could have swore he ended it with Washington. We'll have to look that up later.
How many sacks did he have?
Jeez, man. I don't know.
It's got to be high 190s, I think.
Yeah, he was just there's a reason why we agree on this one.
Yeah,
So I think it's a little obvious.
right.
All right, and when we do linebackers now, obviously we're going to go inside and outside. We're not going to break it down into specific pure pass rushing and then overall middle linebackers, of course. But I can start off at my number 5 if you want.
Yeah.
With this one, it was tough. And couple honorable mentions, of course. Now, I hate doing it. I hate leaving them off. I hate doing it. But Mike Singletary is an honorable mention, in my opinion. So was who was the other Bear? Number 54, Urlacher.
Yep.
It's hard to leave him off. And then my boy Lambert in Pittsburgh. But it was tough because there's just other, and Derek Brooks. So, no, never mind. He's actually on my list. So, who's your honorable
Well, and
mention?
I mean, Singletary's definitely, that Bears defense, 85 Bears
yeah.
defense, considered one of the best in history.
With Dewerson, Richard Dent, Mike Singletary. I mean, they had, Dan Hampton.
And, I agree. As far as honorable mentions, there's so many linebackers.
There really is. I mean, I don't even have Derek Thomas on here.
Yeah. I'll think of some as we go.
Okay, well, my number 5 right now is going to be Dick Butkus. Just watching the film and just watching his overall intimidating presence on the field. I mean, I think that he alone caused so much fear that it literally shifted offenses, and he got into quarterbacks' heads and running backs' heads. And Dick Butkus, if you watch that old film, dude, it's so fun to watch.
Those old mean linebackers.
Yeah, I know. Well, yeah. You see him with the hands there, and his knuckles are all bloody, and yeah.
Those are the times where they're telling quarterbacks, "I'm gonna kill you."
Yeah, he is my number 5.
Okay, I got some bias going here.
Now here we go. Denver Broncos
My
coming
number
up.
5 is Von Miller.
Okay.
You know,
Another honorable mention.
he's a linebacker. He won Super Bowl MVP.
Mm-hmm.
The speed he got off the ball and the ability to strip sack.
Mm-hmm.
And then how he could just change a game.
He was a game breaker.
Yeah.
I mean, didn't he win MVP of the Super Bowl?
Super Bowl.
Yeah.
MVP.
I mean, that tells you right there. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, he might be ranked a little high, but this is my rankings.
Right. Well, yeah, these are just opinion based, man. Well, my number 4 is going to be Tampa Bay extraordinaire Derek Brooks. Watching him just dominate. And of course, there was other people on that defense at the time with corner Rondy Barber, at that time John Lynch, and Warren Sapp. So you had such a great defense, but watching Derek Brooks anchor it in the linebacker position and just destroy the Raiders, who I thought were going to win the Super Bowl of 2002 season. And I mean, yeah, Derek Brooks, man, watching him, he was just a nightmare for offensive coordinators.
Yeah, it's kind of funny because I think our lists are a bit different.
Well, on this one, because they're so wide, yeah.
Yeah, there's so many linebackers. My number 4 is Junior Seau.
He's on my list.
Being a Bronco fan, and just remembering those games and having to play against him and how he could just disrupt everything.
A matter of opinion, he's the greatest athlete at the position ever. I think. Pure athlete.
Yeah, I don't know that I can.
He's by the way, he's my number 3, so I don't need to go into it.
Okay.
I mean, it makes sense, yeah. Junior Seau, what do you, I mean, you knew when you had to play San Diego, you knew you're in for a freaking headache. So, yeah, that's my number 3, man. Who you got?
My number 3 is, you know what? Backtrack.
Okay.
Vaughn's number 6. Seau's number 5.
Okay.
I have Derek Thomas number 4.
Understandable, though.
I put 6 down, didn't mean to.
Then he still, I don't know if he still holds the record for a single game for sacks, but I know that Dave Craig of Seattle had a horrible day against him in 1990.
I know.
I think it was 7 sacks.
Myles Garrett had 5 in a game.
Okay.
But yeah. So Derek Thomas number 4.
Okay.
You know, even though he was a Chief, you know, I hated playing him as a Bronco.
Okay. And then your number 3 would be Seau?
Butkus.
Or Butkus. Okay, yep.
Seau was 5, Thomas 4, Butkus 3.
I see. Yep. Okay. Yeah. And see, and yeah. And you already got my number 3. Okay. Makes sense. My number 2 is Ray Lewis.
That's my number 2 also. Well, I think we probably have the same top 2.
I think so. I mean, Ray Lewis, let's be realistic. I mean, fans that are listening to us now can at least remember Ray Lewis, no matter how young they are. I mean, he was extraordinary. I mean, he was scary. He was intimidating. He was everything you wanted at his position.
Right.
But yeah. I'll let you say our number 1.
Lawrence Taylor. I mean, regardless of his personal character or anything,
doesn't matter.
He was Von Miller before Von Miller was, obviously.
Yeah.
The style was the same, but LT was much better at it. His speed off the edge. There was never a rusher that got off the edge. You know, because you got to compare times. Mm-hmm. I think Von probably maybe is quicker, but
right. But Von is a good comparison to LT because of their style.
But because of the age, I mean, the athletes in the 2000s are much better than the athletes in the 80s and 90s.
The evolution of athletes.
So I mean, LT just looked a step faster than everybody else. It's kind of like playing Madden and you put on the boosts on your team or something like that, or the cheat mode or something like that. They couldn't block him off the edge, and then he had the moves.
Remember him watching against one team. He sacks the quarterback and goes, "Son, y'all gotta do better than that."
Right.
He was awesome. I'm glad that we actually got to grow up watching him.
Yeah.
You know.
Again, cheat code there.
Yeah. But it's so true. LT to me is the number 1 linebacker of all time.
Yeah.
All right, we want to run into safeties and give us a couple of honorable mentions before you give your number 5. Oh, you know who else reminded me of LT though, but he had a short-lived career. Do you remember he was a Charger, Sean Merriman? That guy had such an ability to get to the quarterback. He was just so short-lived.
Right.
But yeah, he even wore the same number as LT. Yeah. But anyway,
so you know the safeties and cornerbacks. You know, there's 2 different types. There's these guys that are really good covers and rangers and stuff like that, and then there's those hitters.
Mm-hmm.
And
unfortunately in this one we just combined them though. You know?
But there's some hitters that change a game, and then there's some hitters that they just hit, and you know, I just don't have them as high. But I don't have any really honorable mentions that I thought of, but there's a lot.
Real quick though, I'll throw out a couple of honorable mentions that I remember. I remember a Viking named Joey Browner. He was just dominant. He was dominant. There was a Bengals player named David Fulcher he was, god dang, man. And then of course he's not on my list, but John Lynch, just for his hitting. I mean, he was just.
I had just thought of him.
Did you? And then not on my list also, I still got to throw in there is Dennis Smith. Forever Dennis Smith. So, yeah, those are my honorable mentions.
Yeah, I mean, can you imagine? We'll talk about that when we get to the other player.
Mm-hmm. But Chiefs had one in Duron Cherry that was just, man, he was good.
All right. Well, my number 5, I didn't have him. We did this podcast before, and as Matt said, we lost it. I had forgot about him, but I'm not forgetting about him this time. It was Brian Dawkins.
Yeah.
I mean, he played for the Broncos too, and he was a hitter. He was a good cover guy. He was kind of an all-around safety that.
Yeah. I mean, he was awesome. My number 5 is Steve Atwater. I mean, he wasn't the greatest ball hawk, although he was still great at getting to the ball as far as, you didn't see a lot of receivers get by him, but he was known for more of his hitting. He changed the trajectory of Christian Okoye's career on one hit. I mean, because after that Monday night in 1990, when Christian Okoye decided, he was going to take the hole and go right up the middle, and Atwater met him right there. And I never heard of Christian Okoye after that. I don't think. It was Harvey Williams after that.
But the thing about Atwater is he changed the game plans. They didn't want to go down the middle on him.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, they avoided.
Yeah, no receiver wanted to go over the middle.
Right. In those days, I mean, that's where it's changed. The rules of the current football, that's a big difference in the middle is, they're protected a lot more. You still see some good hits, but they're protected. And so everybody will go down the middle. But back in those days, nobody wanted to go down the middle.
Look at the Super Bowl against Green Bay. Who was it, Antonio Freeman?
Yeah.
He took out Antonio Freeman and corner Darian Gordon, I think, all at once. And himself. Yeah. I mean, so yeah, no, right there. And that wasn't even over the middle. That tells you.
When he got hit and they all just fall limp. They were limp midair.
We felt that.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, I loved Atwater, bro. I mean, quick story, getting to meet him when I was playing semi-pro football, I had my boy Gallus always said, bring football cards to some Bronco players because they like to come and just watch. And I'm like, okay, whatever. And we were playing a pretty fairly, no, it wasn't a game. It was a scrimmage against another team, but they were a good team in semi-pro, and Atwater was there, and I had him sign a rookie card. Of course, I had a friend named Todd Ziegler who just idolized him, and he missed it, so I gave him the card. So.
Oh, I was going to ask you for that.
But I just no. And I remember looking at Atwater as walking away, and I go, hey, Atwater, another Pro Bowl year? And he goes, yeah, and he just held up his fist. It was cool. Yeah. He's bigger than he's big. He against me, he was only 5'6". He's huge.
Smiling assassin.
Yeah.
Okay.
Who's your number 4?
Your guy, Polamalu.
Troy Polamalu.
Gosh, they had to find him, and he just ranged all over the place, and that big old hairdo just flopping all over the place.
He was awesome.
He was such a pain.
He was one of the first defenders to get into Peyton Manning's head.
Yeah.
But, my number 4 is Brian Dawkins. And what's funny is I'm following you because of my number 3 is so. But yeah, so Brian Dawkins at number 4, enough said, man. We saw him in Philadelphia, then we saw him in Denver, so.
Yeah. And, my number 3 is Atwater. Obviously, I'm a homer, whatever.
Gee, I hadn't noticed.
But he just impacted the game like my number 2 when we'll get to that.
Yeah, well, my number 3 is Troy Polamalu. So, I mean.
Well, we're hand in hand there.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, he was, I have his jersey. Like, even though I don't wear jerseys now, I mean, I was a huge Troy fan. Like, you had to be, so.
Yeah. And I think our top 2 are probably the same, whether they're the same order.
I
don't know. I think they might be the same order, but I have Ronnie Lott number 2.
No, my number 2 is Ed Reed, and then we're gonna swap them.
Yeah. My number 1's Ed Reed.
And yeah, my number 1's Ronnie Lott. But we can go over those guys real quick. I'll let you go over Ed Reed, and I'll go over Ronnie Lott if you want.
Well, my number 2 is Ronnie Lott.
Right.
So I'll go.
But yeah, and like I said, my number 2 is Ed Reed. So if you want to, and then like your number 1's Ed Reed, and my number 1's Ronnie Lott. So if you want to discuss Ed Reed, I'll just go over Ronnie Lott. They know our order now.
So Ed Reed, probably the greatest all-around safety of all time.
Yep.
I mean, he could hit, and he could cover, and he could intercept, and he could tackle. I remember plays of him coming down the line and making tackles for losses.
He's the most complete safety of all time.
Right. Easily.
Mm-hmm.
And so, I mean, there's no weakness to his game.
No.
I mean, you could talk about like a Atwater and, people's range and stuff like that, but he had it all.
Oh, no. There's just no doubt. He's probably the most well-rounded safety to ever play the game. The only reason Ronnie Lott beat him out is because I didn't really know much about safeties until I first watched Ronnie Lott. Now, he started his career at corner, and no one made the adjustments to safety as good as Ronnie Lott. My man Rod was close, but I mean, no one made the adjustment to safety and played it. Like, you never would have guessed he played any other position. And to watch him through the 80s and early 90s, it was just, I mean, he had to have part of his finger, remember, I think it was his pinky, wasn't it? He had part of his pinky torn, and he just told them to rip the rest of it off and get me back out there.
Ouch.
Yeah, so, I mean, you can't ever deny his toughness. And he was a ball hawk, too. Yeah. He was a ball hawk. So he was Ed Reed before Ed Reed, and then Ed Reed came along and said, I'm going to do it a little bit better. But Ronnie Lott, just the impressions of safety is why I've got him at number one. He was just too impressionable.
And I just remember that Ronnie Lott and Dennis Smith played together at USC.
And they were one and the same in a lot of ways. That's
Right.
why Dennis Smith is in my honorable mentions, because those two are the same person.
Yeah. I think Smith might have been a little bigger.
Either way, you can guarantee those two probably have CTE just by the way they hit.
Yeah, they
and
hit
I'm not even making fun of them.
They hit like trucks.
Yeah. Well, my favorite position of all time, buddy. We are going to the cornerback position.
Right. And we're probably more in line than a lot of people because there's so much debate about this.
Yes, corners. This is a hard one. If you want to throw each out 3 honorable mentions, I'm going to throw out, he didn't make my list, but I'm still throwing out Dick Knight, Train Lane. I'm throwing out Aeneas Williams, and I'm throwing out Eric Allen. As far as corners that I've seen. I mean, yeah. I mean, you have others. You have Albert Lewis. You have Len Barney. I mean, you can't deny these greatness, but...
Yeah, I just thought of one that probably needs to be in my top 5, and I forgot about him. But
and then one more.
How about Louis Wright?
Oh no, he was
Oh my gosh.
He was a Pro Bowl corner before there were Pro Bowl corners in the 90s. But I feel bad because he's not on my list. But Mel Blount of the Steelers, they had to redo the rules at chucking a receiver because of him. They had to literally. You couldn't. I mean, it was the Mel Blount rule. They had changed the rules because of Mel Blount.
Yeah. How
So
about
there's just too many.
As an honorable mention, and I hated this guy, and he was horrible. But you got to respect kind of the impact he had. But Lester Hayes.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
No, absolutely.
I mean, he hit, and then I just remember all that stickum all over his jersey and all over his hand.
Number 37, man.
And I remember a football going and hitting his arm, and it just stuck to his arm.
Yeah.
I mean, this is like crazy.
Mm-hmm. And then one that's not on my list, one more. Sorry, I know we said only 3, but Darrelle Revis. He didn't make my list, but he's up there.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to have 6 because I just thought of this guy, and I can't keep him off my list, but he's Darrell Green.
That's my number 5.
Yeah, so Darrell Green would be my 6. We'll let you talk about him at 5 then.
Obviously drafted, I believe, in 83 by Joe Gibbs. Saw him, drafted him. I believe he was out of Texas A&I. Don't quote me on that, but he won the NFL's fastest man like 3 out of 4 times. But he was only 5'8". He returned a punt 60 yards on a broken rib. I mean, the guy, he just had the makeup speed that he was unbelievable. His speed, I think he was clocked at a 4.1940.
Yeah.
So, yeah, he was a speed burner. He may be the fastest guy. Him and Tyreek Hill are probably the fastest I've ever seen.
Yeah, he's pretty quick.
Mm-hmm.
Well, my number 5 is Dion. I actually, that's kind of high for me for Dion because, for a guy, he's one of the best cover corners to play. But to me, he didn't have an all-around game. He couldn't tackle. He couldn't, he just, there were certain things that he just decided he didn't want to do.
Mm-hmm. And that's why he's at number 4 for me, Dion. And to add to what you're saying, to me, he's the best pure cover corner ever. Just pure cover corner. If you want to talk about a corner just doing his job covering receivers, there was no one better at that. But he could not stop the run. Like if you had a Marion Butts, a Jerome Bettis, or even the likes of an Earl Campbell running right towards him, what do you think he's going to do? He's going to find someone to block so he doesn't have to make that tackle.
Yeah.
I mean, he did not have the physical game. Now, he was physical with smaller receivers, don't get me wrong, because he was, what, 6 foot, 6'1"? And he was a blazer. He was a road runner. But I'm going all around players as who I'm choosing.
Well, and you know, I think he physically was capable. He just mentally didn't want to do it. Mm-hmm. You know, because we've seen many corners that are his size, and they still are good tacklers.
Oh, well, yeah, they are. And I mean, like, to me, athletic-wise, he and Bo Jackson could be the greatest athletes that have ever played in the NFL. They were two-way athletes. And he could, you know, so athletic-wise, you can't take away from him. You cannot take away from his ability to cover. But I want a corner that can stop the run. I mean, look, I'm 5'6", and I didn't have a problem tackling bigger guys. Right. I mean, you knew me. I could jump, I could run. But the thing is if I wanted tackles too. That's part of your game. That's part of playing defense.
Right.
I mean, so, well, buddy, my number 3 is Champ Bailey. Okay. Wide receiver.
My number 3 also. I still have a number 4 though.
Okay, go ahead. Oh, you go ahead, man.
Night Train Lane.
Okay.
We talked about
yeah.
it. I mean,
I think he owned the record for most picks in a single season, which to this day I still think he owns.
14?
Yeah. And we think we have the same number 3, yeah?
Yep.
Champ Bailey, yeah. And you can't say enough about him. We've talked about him in the past, how he had. I wish he would have extended his career at free safety.
Right. He's probably one of the smartest corners ever played.
He may be the pure smartest I've ever seen.
I mean, I've never seen a corner like him that could diagnose the play and actually run the route and get the interception.
And I mean, like you said, Washington lost their ass in that trade.
Yeah, Clinton Portis.
I mean, yeah. Who do you got at number 2? Charles
Woodson.
Yeah, see, again, and I've said this time and time again, they're carbon copies of one another. And you and I have discussed in the past how we could swap 2 and 3 at any point in time. Champ Bailey could very well be number 2.
Yep.
And yeah, so Champ and Charles Woodson, both 6'1", 195 pounds, cut from the same stone, man. So yeah.
No, I'm not quite the 6'1".
No, not, and I'm only 5'6".
I'm not built like them.
And our number 1 corner, Rod Woodson, just as far as all-around corner play, from the physical aspect of sacking the quarterback, chasing down runners, knocking running backs out, covering the top receivers with 4.3 speed, and being a great return man. I mean,
and you know, I had to consider that. You know how much time he spent at safety too. Mm-hmm. Didn't rank him up there on safety, but
right.
But his whole career, I mean, everything he did.
Yep, he is my football idol. So he's the reason why I love the number 26. But yeah, well, cool, brother. Well, let's hope we're good. And on that note, thanks for listening. If we missed anybody, please hit us up. But I am outro.
Me too.